20 to hit and then a bounce to come in. My guess is the bounce comes before 20, and then when it finally gets to 20, they flush it right through and kind of take everyone. The screens are off in the background in solidarity with everyone who doesn't want to even look at their accounts right now. So that's what we got going on there. But in all reality, yes. I mean, 20,000 has been in the cards for a long time. I'm scared to think that there could actually be more downside, but the charts certainly are headed towards 20. Is that Ethereum actually has already taken out the 2017-18 high. Bitcoin is just the next one to go. Doesn't mean we won't get a bounce here, but this is no doubt that has to be where you're thinking the next stopping point is. I do have a level down here around 12,000. I do think there's a possibility we get there, but this is a bear winter. I mean, this is a classic crypto winter. We have to accept it. You know, the signs were there. The euphoria was there. Go back to matching it up to 2017 or even 2013, and all those signals were there. So you are currently sitting right at a little minor support. So again, you know, as a trader, I'm kind of thinking, do you get a little bit of a bounce here for a couple days? But 20,000 is so close. The one thing I will say is this: everyone expects 20 to hit and then a bounce to come in. My guess is the bounce comes before 20, and then when it finally gets to 20, they flush it right through and kind of take everyone that tries to buy it right there. So again, just kind of play it nimble, be safe, understand that, again, this is a bear market. The stock market still has a lot more downside to go. I'm someone who trades the stock market on a daily basis. We're not even close to the bottom in the stock market, which has to make you very, very nervous for cryptocurrencies. So again, just keep it careful, play it safe, and be ready to buy.
What are some targets that you're looking at when it comes to ETH? You know, I know you've been saying 20 for a long time with Bitcoin, and you know we got pretty close to that. What's the equivalent number for ETH, or is there one?
The common thought process would have been the 2017 high right here would have been, and then we just blew right through it. So you have to go to your next big pivot, and that's around 825 or so $850. So I think that that's where it's going. I mean, the fact that Bitcoin hasn't even gotten to 20 yet, and Ethereum's already taken out that 2018 January high, you have to think it's headed towards 850 or so. So that's what I'm looking for. And none of us know where the low is going to be. We all have the long-term idea that crypto is here to stay. It's going to grow. So what are we going to do is when we get down to these levels, we're going to basically decide, well, how much do we want to put in Ethereum? And for me, maybe it's going to be $100,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it up, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put 20,000 in at $1,000. 20,000 in at 900, 20,000 at 800, 20,000 at 700. Basically dollar cost average very robotically. I'm not going to use emotion and be like, oh my God, I'm too scared now to do this, because that's when you miss and it starts to rip higher. You have to use a very kind of robotic nature to it to just get in and slowly accumulate. And again, the biggest thing, and this is the biggest fallacy or the biggest issue with general investors, is they go in always assuming they're going to be right. And so they throw all their money in at one spot. A pro trader goes in almost expecting to be wrong, which gives you the maneuverability to trade around that first entry and ultimately work your average in. And that is so important. So again, I think we're ultimately going to at least 850 on Ethereum, maybe lower. I'll start accumulating. Yeah, you know, for me, this is the problem, is that people always said to me when I said 20,000 back in October, November of last year, they first of all called me all the names in the book, and then they said, oh, but that's never happened. And then I'm like, well, yeah, but every crypto winter you go down 80 to 85%, which would put us below 20,000. So all you're doing is harping on one side that proves your thesis versus looking at the big picture, which says, yeah, you know, one of these is going to be wrong. And I think, again, at this stage, bear markets, especially bear markets that the Fed is not printing. If you go back to past bear markets, the Fed was always printing, right? So this is the first bear market. It's not happening. You have to think this could be even a bigger correction than the past. And I think, again, I would say that's dead. That theory is dead. I think the first thing to kind of keep in mind is that when it's a bull market and everything's going up, no one wants regulation. When you watch your account evaporate, everyone wants regulation, right? So I think number one is, you know, you have situations like this, and then you have Terra Luna, and then you have the UST, and basically bear markets unveil and kind of reveal things that shouldn't be going on, or high risk policies come to roost when you have these bear markets. And again, not to draw the parallel with fraud or anything, but don't be surprised if there are cryptocurrencies out there that you do find out later on did have fraud. Remember, in 2008, that's when Bernie Madoff was discovered, because when the markets began to crash, people didn't believe that he was just putting up these awesome numbers year after year, and they started to want to pull their money out. They got scared. And the same thing goes on here over and over again with cryptocurrencies. Now people are freaking out. They're pulling money out. Celsius is saying, no, you're not. And that's where the problem can arise. So you'll see some stuff kind of being revealed here over the next couple months. Be very, very careful. I've said it from the very beginning, and it didn't even matter with Terra Luna, but stick to the best of breed cryptocurrencies. And really that means Bitcoin and Ethereum. I hate to say it.